welcome, welcome. Let's see if anybody's joined early. Say hello in the chat box. Hello, Patrons Club members. Hello, folks. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Marcella. Good to see you. How is everybody doing? Welcome. Hi, Beth and Anel. Yay! Marcella, I see you twice. You're on coming from two different places. I don't know what that means, but good to have you twice. Did somebody say something? I wasn't sure if I heard someone. I don't know if we're supposed to hear anybody. It's all good. Welcome, welcome. I started a little bit early, which is good. Gives people a chance to get on and say hello and say, how's it going? Hi, Charlene. Good to see you. Hey, Kathleen. It's our first one of the year. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm just going to wait another minute. Do me a favor. Oh, good. That was going to say, open the chat box and see if that works. Where is it? Here it is, chat box. Yay. Hey, Beth and Marcella and Charlene. Good. I think we're going to be a small group. There were like 20 registered. Usually half show up to these patron clubs. If you ever miss a patrons club event, guys, you can always, I will send it out in a link, but if you don't get it, just, send me an email. So Marcella's on her iPad. Got it. Good to see everybody. It's just about 7 o'clock. Welcome to the first Patrons Club event of the year. Welcome to this very special Meet the Miniaturist, actually, too, because we're going to be joined very soon by May. Thank you for joining this call, and thank you for all of your continued support and for being such important parts and members of the D. Thomas Miniatures community. It's great to have you. It's great to have your continued support for all of my efforts, promoting this miniatures world and doing what I do. Couple of things before we bring on my special guest, or our special guest for this Patrons Club event. I have a webinar coming up on Saturday. It is called How to Build an Awesome Miniatures Collection. It is Saturday morning at 10 a.m. You can go to my Facebook page or my website to get the links if you want to join. It's Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Essentially, I am going to be talking to folks who either want to step up their miniature collecting game, or if they're new to miniatures and collecting miniatures, just a way to get folks armed with all the information that they need to build a high quality collection, high value collection, quality artisan filled collection, all with the goal of bringing the maximum delight. Okay, so that's really what that's about. So join me on Saturday morning, it's 10 o'clock. If you need a link, you can just email me too, and I'll send you a link if you can't find it on my website or on my Facebook page. I'm also beginning to, my next estate sale is starting this Sunday on my eBay site. It is the estate collection of a woman from the West Coast. Her name was Yvonne Farley, and she was an extensive collector. This is a pretty big estate sale. There are 400 lots. This is a large collection, over 20 categories, from fine art furniture all the way through to fine art flowers, porcelain, ceramic, basically every category. And then there's fun things as well. There are themed categories, like there's a whole lot just on camping. There's a lot on, vintage kitchen. So there are themed lots, and as well as individual pieces. And then there's fun things as well. So I have 100 piece lots, which are fun, just filled with this is really for the collector. Just 100 pieces of teddy bears, 100 pieces of kitchen pantry items. It's kind of crazy. But this has been so much fun for me to put together, and it's launching this Sunday on my eBay store. So again, actually I put some links in my last shout out, my email blast. So it should be in there. That's starting on Sunday. The show season is starting, guys. So, first up is the Tom Bishop show in April. So really now is the time to be booking your flights, booking your hotel rooms, because those things book up fast. So you got to get with it. So you got to get on it. Do that. Just so that you guys know, there's another season of Best in Miniature, which is a Canadian reality-based show about a competition of making miniatures, and they just announced their second season. Now we don't have that here in the US. I think most of us on the line are US based. But if you really have to watch it, there are ways you could be resourceful. You can get your computer to pretend like you're in Canada, and you can find, there are ways to do it if you really want to be resourceful. But the good news is it's a second season of a reality-based miniatures program. So it doesn't get better than that in terms of like just the awareness of that, of the miniatures world, the increased interest in the miniatures world, and the media attention around the miniatures world. So I'm excited for it. I'm probably going to try to find it on YouTube. They usually appear right after the program is on, and then you've got to be quick to watch it, and then it disappears. And then finally, a rare opportunity. Well, several Thorn Rooms are going up on exhibition at the History Center of Lake Bluff in Illinois. Several rarely seen Thorn Rooms are on view there through March. I'm going to try to do a Meet the Miniaturist on that. I've been talking to the History Center, which is where it's being viewed, where it's being on view. So stay tuned. I might have a Meet the Miniaturist and a special sort of walkthrough, but folks who are in the area, check that out. It's kind of cool that, you know, people get to see some Thorn Rooms on view. Obviously, these are not the Thorn Rooms that are at the Chicago Institute, but these are additional Thorn Rooms. There's also some Cupjack rooms there. That's crazy exciting. So with that, thank you again for being here. I'm very excited for my special guest, May Burnett. May is an arts educator from Dobbs Ferry, New York. She's right in my backyard. She is a friend. She is a very talented and super creative miniaturist. And she was also my partner when we did a reality-based TV show called Biggest Little Christmas Showdown back in 2020. So I'm really excited that she's here. You know, when I met May, she's really an innovative in the miniatures world, in that she's always looking for really new and interesting ways to make miniatures, see miniatures, and do things with miniatures. When I met her, she was doing steampunk fairy doors. Right, and then she was doing koi ponds that fit on your on a ring for your fingers, and now she's doing kintsugi, which I'm really thrilled. She's going to take us through that, share it with us, and show us all about that. So with that, I'm going to see if she can come on and introduce herself and say hello to you guys. And May, why don't you? Thank you for joining. I'm so glad you're here. You have such an interesting concept, an interesting view of miniatures, and I'm just always like watching out for what you're doing, because it's always new and exciting and innovative. And when you told me about what you're doing now, I'm like, I've got to share that. I've got to share that. I don't see anybody doing that, and so why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, and then of course let's get right into kintsugi.
Okay, hi everybody. I'm May Burnett. I mean, you gave such an awesome introduction. I don't know what else I could possibly add, except, you know, my innovation comes from curiosity and the desire to control a small environment. So other than that, you know, it's just like fun. And what can I fit in a tiny jar?
Yeah. So tell us about kintsugi. Tell us tell us about what it is, you know, top line it, and then what inspired you to say, you know, I want to try that in miniature?
Kintsugi is a Japanese technique of mending broken pottery with gold. The philosophy is kind of like, it's about the journey, taking something that means something to you, or is something that was passed down, and even if it breaks, you're going to mend it, but you're not going to hide the cracks, because it's about the journey. And so, gosh, I love all things Japanese. Oh, are we supposed to?
No, I think I didn't have you spotlit for some reason, but they can see you now. Sorry, guys.
Okay, sorry. Ta-da.
Yeah.
Okay, and Anyway, I do love all things Japanese, and I hope one day to go to Japan. My grandparents and my mom lived in Japan for a while when she was younger, and so I always heard stories. They brought back, I could see the photos and my mother's kimono from when she was a kid. So that started my interest. And when it came to kintsugi, I like doing miniature pottery, and I don't know what to do with it. It's like I made all this stuff, now what? How do you, display it? I have tons of like, these little shelves and things, and what else can I do with this pottery? And I thought of kintsugi, and that's when I started like experimenting with the tiny pots and bowls and tea kettles that I made, and making it work.
Interesting though that's how sort of the interest and came from out of how can I go to the next place with this. It not boredom, I don't want to say it was boredom, but out of I don't know what the word is, but you just had that drive to just go further.
Yeah. I've got all these nice pots, but what's next?
Let's break it.
Yeah, let's break it.
Break it and fix it.
Put it back together. Yeah.
Kintsugi has been around it's been around for hundreds of years. This is not new. Tell us a little bit about how it came about and the philosophy behind it.
Sure. Now, question, Darren, do you want me to do my slideshow or?
Yeah, definitely. You prepared a few slides.
I did.
Yeah, let's see them. Absolutely.
Okay. You can bear with me, everybody. I have to share
this
my
is Arts Educator in May, coming to life here, guys.
Me and Google Slides.
May also runs she runs an art camp during summers up in the Adirondacks. So yeah.
I'm a head of fine arts for Long Lake Camp for the Arts in Long Lake, New York. So it's upstate in the Adirondack Mountains. And it's awesome. And I've been doing that over 20 years. Yeah. So kintsugi, here's a nice picture. This is an example of kintsugi. You can see where it's been repaired with gold. Let me advance. Okay. So there's a description. It's the Japanese art of repairing broken pottery. So rather than throwing it away, you put it back together and adorn the cracks with gold. It's representing that the idea of the beauty can be found in imperfection, which is also very wabi-sabi. And I'm sorry, I just love the photo. This frog.
Love the frog.
Love the frog. So something that's ugly can be beautiful. Is a wabi-sabi imperfection philosophy, embracing the flawed and imperfect. So this is China. It started actually with China, because they had back in like the 15th century, they would repair broken pottery with these leech nail ties. So like they look like staples. And legend has it that a shogun received in his collection, he had this little teacup, and it was part of a larger set that had been gifted to somebody by the Chinese emperor. So all that's left was this teacup, and the shogun had it in his collection, and it was broken. So he was like, "Hey, China, here's this teacup. Can I get a new one?" And they were like, wow, this Celadon glaze is over 200 years old. We don't even make that anymore, but we can repair it. So they repaired it. That's what you see on the screen with the leech nail ties, and he got it back, and that was nice. But Japanese artisans saw it and were like, I think we can make something a little more aesthetically pleasing. So that's where kintsugi comes in, and it translates to kin for golden and repairs the tsugi part.
There you go.
So here's a Kintsugi artist, and I'm really bad at the pronunciation. Urushi master. So they repair the cracks with lacquer that comes from a tree, and that's the urushi, and it's like it hurts your hands. So the urushi, the sap, it's kind of like if you made lacquer using poison ivy, is basically what this stuff, it's really irritating to your hands. So the Kintsugi artist will make a lacquer using the sap, and will receive broken pottery, and they will patch the pottery, stick it together with the lacquer, and it squishes out. That's fine. They put it all together, and then humidity and warmth set the lacquer. So you have to set it in a cabinet, a warm, damp cabinet, or a special Kintsugi kiln for like 2 weeks. It has to sit. And so the process of Kintsugi can take a really long time. Once it's done, they take it out and they sand down all the lacquer so that it matches the curves of the pottery. They make it smooth, and then they apply another thin layer of lacquer over the mended parts and dust it with gold. And it has to go back in the humidity and sit for 3 days, a week. And when it comes out, you like dust off the excess gold and you're done.
Awesome. What a process.
Oh, I snuck in a family photo. so the Cherry Blossom Festival at the New York Botanical Gardens. That's my daughter wearing her grandmother's kimono, and I'm wearing a yukata, which is a Japanese cotton robe, a little less formal than a kimono.
Wow. We're blessed to have the Botanical Gardens right in our backyards here, right?
Yeah, it's really nice.
Nice. Well, that's pretty fascinating. And then, you know what? The fact that it takes so long makes it that much more desirable and valuable, and just that whole process, that is thrilling. Does anybody have any questions for May on this before she's going to share some of her work in using the philosophy behind Kintsugi? Okay, well, we'll take questions. I mean, we'll stop if we have any others. But yeah, so is that what will be next, May? Will you share? Okay.
Yes, I can. Let me change my cameras. Okay. Okay, here's a little workspace. So, So here is a small bowl that I threw, and it's got a crystalline glaze, and you see the Kintsugi repair, and this is actually faux Kintsugi. There's not a break here. A lot of times if you have a tiny miniature and you drop it, it's like pieces of it just explode into dust and are gone forever. Right?
I think that's one of the questions Marcella had was, do you have all of the pieces? And that's the question. So this is really creating a Kintsugi piece that ultimately looks like it was repaired. But honestly, at the end of the day, if you have broken pieces of miniature pottery, there'd be nothing really left. It doesn't break perfectly.
Right. I have a broken one that I will show you.
Okay.
But so to do this process, and I will show you.
And that's the thing. There is a process behind even working through the faux to try to mimic the miniatures are all about illusions anyway. You're mimicking the full size Kintsugi.
Exactly. So I got this gold leaf kit off Amazon. It is actually not even real gold leaf. It's mostly like copper or something.
Really?
It's like
that wasn't real.
I know, but because it's not 100% gold, it comes with a sealant. So once you do it, you have to seal it so it doesn't like tarnish. But anyway, so what I did is I took the size, which is the glue
Mm.
that you're sticking the gold on with. And I found images of broken vessels. So you've seen this one. And if you notice, that's the breakage I mimicked in my bowl design.
Yeah.
And I just drew the design on with the adhesive and then patted the gold leaf on. And that's something about this faux leaf is it's thicker than actual gold leaf. So I can like touch it with my hands and stuff and peel it off. And then you just pat it onto the size. I use like a brush like this and then wipe it away and it remains stuck to the glue. The hard part about doing a bowl is whatever design, whoops, there it goes, see? Whatever, oh, now it's really broken. But whatever design you do on one side,
right,
you have to mimic and do your best guess on the inside, which can be quite difficult. But yeah, and once it's all on there, I just kind of nudged it with my fingernails till it was what I eyeballed to be a correct width, and then sealed it.
Did I miss what kind of glue you use?
It comes in the kit. It's called adhesive size.
Is it a special glue for the gold leaf? Is that what?
Yeah, yeah.
And it how did you apply it? Is it really goopy?
Yeah, it really is. It reminds me of yeah, look at that. Ugh.
How did you apply a very thin line?
As with most miniatures, a really super tiny brush.
Oh, right.
That's why I also nudged it with my fingernails afterwards, because if I found the line a bit too that's the wrong bowl. If I found the line a bit too thick,
yeah,
I just look at all the paint on me. I just nudged it like that.
Yeah. And do you have to do that quickly? How quickly does it dry? And dry when you finagle?
So I think if you had a different surface, and we're doing a lot, like a large area, and you're putting a lot of size on there, you're supposed to let it dry till it's tacky. But I found it dried pretty quickly in these tiny thin lines that I was doing. So I would do like a small part and then apply the gold leaf, take it off, do another small part, because these lines are so tiny. It was drying super quick.
I love it.
So it's something to watch out for.
Yeah. And I love the detail behind actually doing the work inside the vessel as well.
Yeah. This is a tiny teapot. This was my first adventure into Kintsugi. I liked doing the teapot because I don't have to do the inside. it's all I mean, the top comes off, but so this is also a teapot I made. But while I was doing it, I dropped it and it for real broke. There was like a handle, and the handle like broken. I could pick up one tiny piece, the rest gone, disappeared into a black hole of nothingness. So now it sits in here while I try to find like a piece of wicker or something that I could add and for real Kintsugi it onto that.
But Kintsugi also incorporates larger swaths as well.
Yes. Yeah, it doesn't have to be these tiny veins. For example, here's a bowl that I for real broke. And when I did it, I was like, oh, I don't want to hit it with a hammer. It'll just turn to dust. So I used a nail and put it on there and then hit the nail with the hammer. And all it did was, it just punched a hole. You can see it here. Nothing else broke.
Yeah.
It just punched a hole. So I guess that means my ceramics are pretty good. I don't know. So now, I have none of these pieces. They just dust. There might be a tiny piece in there. I did break it in a box and tried to keep all the pieces. And then I really hit it with a hammer and broke it for reals. So when I do Kintsugi, which I've started, I'll repair it. And when I come to this large hole, I don't have lacquer. I'm not repairing it with lacquer, but I do have, oh, and I set it down somewhere, spackle, white spackle. I'll fill the hole with white spackle, let that dry, sand it smooth, and then apply the gold over it. There are pieces that I found in my little research, like a plate, and there's a big chip missing, and they've just filled that chip with lacquer and gold. So not even on big pieces,